Senator Portman, Jane, thank you for being here. For the whole family, I'm going to let them get down. They don't want to have to hear me one more time, but I'm going to say to you guys, I can't tell you how much I appreciate your being out here today on Father's Day to give me a welcome. It's a Father's Day I will never forget. Thank you, Newark. You're the best. Thank you. Now the president, thank you. All right, we'll get going right now. Yeah. Thanks, you guys. The president gave a speech this week, by the way. Did you hear it? Probably not. It was a long speech. You see, what he's trying to do is change his campaign theme. Last time when he was running for president, his campaign theme was hope and change. This time he's hoping to change the subject because the American people are not happy. This president, when he was on the Today Show after he got elected last time, he got up there and said if he can't turn the economy around in 3 years, he'll be looking at a one-term proposition. We're here to collect. We are not going to let his record of failure and disappointment turn a one-term proposition into an 8-year proposition. He's got to go home. He's tried to convince us that he's made things better, but he hasn't made things better. He went out there and said the economy's doing just fine. The private sector's doing fine. You know what? 23 million people who are out of work or stopped looking for work, they had something to say about that. People had seen their incomes go down. They had something to say about that. Businesses that haven't opened their doors, we have a lower rate of new business formation than any time in 30 years. This president has not succeeded. He's failed. He deserves to go home and give someone new a chance. Now, he says the things he's done have helped. But I'll tell you what, you got a lot of businesses around here. I see them all around us. There's Newark Family Shoes over there. There's Earthwork, Jim Hand Lawyer. Go into those businesses and ask them whether his policies have helped or hurt. Ask them whether his financial regulatory bill made it easier for banks to make loans, and they'll tell you, no, it did not. You ask them whether his pushing back against oil and coal and gas made it easier to create jobs. They'll say, no, it did not. You ask them whether Obamacare helped or not. Guess what they'll say? It's amazing. He was asked about small business and the impact of Obamacare. He said he hadn't heard that it made it harder for small business. Well, you heard loud and clear right here. I could hear your voices. And the Chamber of Commerce did a survey. They went out and talked to 1,500 small businesses across America. They said, did Obamacare do anything? They said, yeah. 3/4 of them said that Obamacare made it less likely for them to hire people. We need someone who puts jobs number one, not Obamacare number one. You know, in the speech of his he gave this last week, he said that every American deserves a good shot. Every American deserves a fair shot. And by the way, I agree. We each deserve a fair shot. We need to know in this country if we're working hard and get an education and live by the right kind of values that we'll have the chance for our dreams to be fulfilled. And we'll also be able to provide for our families. We need that kind of a fair shot. But let me ask you this. Do you think passing along $1 trillion of new debt every year to the next generation will give them a fair shot? How about the fact that the president takes tens of billions of dollars of your money, taxpayer money, and uses it to bail out or to invest in companies of his campaign contributors? Does that give you and small businesses a fair shot? No. And how about those kids in Washington, D.C. who used to have a scholarship program? These are kids at risk that allowed them to go to the school of their choice, a charter school. He took that away. Did that give them a fair shot? You see, I agree with him that this is an election about a fair shot for the American people, a fair shot for the coming generations, a fair shot for entrepreneurs and innovators. I believe it's time for a fair shot for the middle class of America, and I will give the American people a fair shot for their dreams to be realized and for the future to be bright. You're going to see something. You're going to see something right here in Ohio. It's going to be all over the country. We're going to shock the world with how our economy is coming back. I'm optimistic about the future of America. I'm confused. I'm convinced. I'm confused too now and then, but today I'm convinced that the American people are going to be surprised by just how great this economy is going to be. And that's because the people in this country are patriotic and hardworking, willing to sacrifice for the future. We love America. We love the principles upon which this country was founded. And if we take advantage of a different course than the one that's being set by this president, if we turn away from the path of Europe with big government and big taxes and government health care, America's going to see a very different dream for the future. Let me tell you three things I'm going to do. Let me tell you three things I'm going to do. Very different than this president, and frankly, very different than any president we've had so far. Number one, I'm going to take advantage of our oil and our gas and our coal and our energy resources. I'm going to get that pipeline in here from Canada, even if I have to build it myself. Number two, I'm going to get rid of this great big cloud that's hanging over all the small businesses in America. It's a cloud of uncertainty. I'll tell you what I'm going to get rid of. I'm going to get rid of Obamacare and create real certainty here. And then number three, I'm going to do something that makes people recognize that their investment in America, whether to start a business or to do anything that creates jobs here, that investment is going to pay a great return in dollars worth something, because I'm going to make sure the dollar is worth something by stopping spending more money than we take in. I'm going to get us on a track to a balanced budget. You know, I had the privilege of being in San Diego to celebrate Veterans Day and to be there with some of the veterans of our foreign wars and a number of our servicemen and women who served today. And one of the men that I introduced was a WW2 veteran. He had been on the USS Tennessee. He was a lookout on the USS Tennessee on the day of Pearl Harbor. And he happened to look up and he saw the eyes of the pilot that was coming in to drop bombs on their very ship. And so I had him stand up. He got injured in that attack. And 33 years he served in our U.S. Navy. But you know, these guys who served in our Second World War troops, there are not as many of them as there used to be. And they can't hold their arms quite as high to hold the torch that they used to hold. It's a torch of freedom and hope and opportunity. And that torch is coming down just a little bit as they get a little older, but now it's our turn. We've got to seize that torch. We've got to hold it high for the world to see. It's our duty, it's our honor to hold that torch of opportunity and freedom and hope. And that's going to only happen if we're strong. And that starts with strong families. And it includes a strong economy. And it means a military second to none in the world. My job one is putting Americans back to work in good jobs with rising incomes to make sure that we can protect freedom here and freedom around the world. We can have a prosperous future, and we can say to our kids, your future's even brighter than what we've enjoyed. I love this country. I love you for your generosity today. We're going to make sure that we keep America the hope of the earth. Thank you so much.